insanity is bottomless, so my insanity is bottomless, so my artistry is limitless. I live truthfully in this imaginary world because it is my world. I fly amongst the fairies, play sorcery with the wizards, illuminate the spirit because the candle that I'm praying with is constantly with it. Fucking intention, fucking objective. I want you. I want your soul. When I look you in the eyes, then I hear you beating slow. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. There is no hiding behind these lines. When I step into the realm, it is me who breathes these lines. Let it manifest into the light. Let the world go dark and we still beam bright. Never repeat. The moment is now. I want to go deeper than the deep. What's my method? The root of Stanislavski, Sandy Mize, Stella Ad, Mr. Strauss, and I'm off. Dance with Michael Check, Mexican communist, and I am what is left. Blowing minds, artist of the time, fuck society. I'm forever in my prime. The revolution of an artist.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Without Your Permission. That was Richard Cabral with the excerpt from the book Vida. You can get that at Amazon.com
On Amazon.
right now. I got a couple copies out the trunk. I'll hit you at the corner. We can get it right off the corner for a half price. Bootleg. It's actually a different book with his cover. You know how back in the day when you were in school, you would like cover your books with like newspaper and shit?
Right.
Down?
Yeah.
Ghetto ass book covers. This one got the funnies on the front of it.
Bringing it back.
But we're bringing it back. And so today's episode is going to be about art and how art has saved our lives.
Changed our lives, saved our lives.
And we have a special guest, Anthony Gilardi.
You did that.
Fucked it up.
Man.
No, I fucked it up.
You had a 50-50 shot and you
Hold
blew
on. I blew it. Wait.
Say it again.
We have a special guest.
Special guest. Well, we have a special guest.
We have a special guest. Anthony Gilardi. Welcome, homie.
Thanks,
Spencer for fucking up your name.
No,
Apologize.
it's all good.
I didn't do it on purpose, though.
I know. Yeah, you
we have a lot
totally
going
did it
on
on
right now.
purpose.
I think it's the Canadian Dry. Canadian Dry. But we're not sponsored or anything. But
I mean, you introduced them already, bro. But like, I want to give a few words, bro.
Handle
Like,
that.
it's really sacred, special to be able to bring Anthony here and talk about art. You're one of the first ones that really brought me into storytelling, into art, and being my acting coach. You're my acting coach, bro. Like that's what it all comes down to, But more than being an acting coach, you're one of my dearest friends, And so I'm just honored to bring you over here and be able to speak on storytelling, speak on how art changed my life, and you're gonna speak about it, how art changed your life.
Yeah, I mean, I love being here, and it's a pleasure. I've been listening to all the other episodes last week with Father G.
Thank you.
Blew me away. You guys are doing great.
Don.
And he's not a bad sidekick. You could do worse.
I'm his sidekick.
Yeah? Oh, is that the way
that's
it's
how-
going?
yeah,
Oh,
that's
okay.
Batman and
Yeah,
Robin.
that's right. If you see all
So
the
y'all
pictures,
Batman?
Yeah,
if you see all
I'm
the
Batman.
pictures,
Yeah.
This is the boy
he's
wonder.
in the front. Like he's a few
Have you
inches in
noticed?
front,
So
and
y'all
I'm in the
Robin?
back.
Okay, all
Ask him
right.
what kind of chonies he got on.
Nah, I already
Ask
know
him.
that.
He's
I know.
Robin. They're yellow
That's
and gold.
That's a good point. I saw that.
And I got the bat belt on.
Yeah.
You wanna see?
All right, that's enough of that. But no, I'm really happy to be here, and it's like goes back to when I met you. It's like going
Like
back
7 years ago,
Yeah,
yeah.
And the bond that we like that brought us together was storytelling.
Right.
You know what I mean? Once you realized I had a story that you could relate to, and you had a story that I could relate to,
Right.
even though we grew up 3,000 miles away.
Right.
That was all we needed.
Where'd you grow up at?
North End, Boston.
Boston. There it is. Yeah.
And it's I was here for a while, and we started talking because LA was like a different planet for me. You know what I
Right.
mean? Coming from Boston, East Coast life is a lot different. But if you talk about the streets and you talk about stories and you just talk about humanity, it's all the same.
Right.
And I didn't really even realize that until I started talking to you. And then you a couple years after that, you brought me to Homeboys, and it was like, something, man. We're all the same.
Right.
We're all the same.
And I remember you telling me that about him. He had told me that. He's like, dog, we're connected.
Yeah.
Like, our stories are connected.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what was the experience like for you coming to Los Angeles?
Well,
what was it
well,
like?
first of all, you come and everything is so wide open. Like, back home, it's like everything is there. So you don't have to go far to either get in trouble or get out of trouble or whatever. If you're fast, you could get out of trouble. If you're slow,
You're getting caught
can we
up.
swear, by the way? Can we
yeah,
swear?
do whatever the hell
Like,
you
if
want.
you're slow, you're fucked.
Yeah.
So in LA, everything
So I didn't
was
stand a chance
yeah.
over there.
Everything is so spread out. So it's like I couldn't even imagine growing up in a neighborhood like this, that like East LA or one of these neighborhoods. So it's like, man, where do you go? Like, how do you maneuver
drive
everything? Yeah, you gotta
places,
drive, so you
right,
can't just walk. And that kind of screwed me up. And then there was like such like, you walk to a neighborhood and then like, you walk down the wrong street or whatever, a different street, and then all of a sudden you're in a different neighborhood, and it's like you gotta be careful. So I was like, all right, streets are different out here.
The stories are the same.
At the end of the day,
right?
it's the storytelling that really like
That
changed
connects
everything.
us.
Yeah, and it's like
connects
so.
us, dog.
And Richard comes to an acting class that I'm teaching, right? So right away I said, okay, it's my job. I'm in charge of everybody in the room. So you got 25, 30 actors, and it's like you got someone in like a Scorsese movie teaching the class, 25 people that are in like a Disney movie, and then somebody in like completely different type of genre walks
And
in.
and what people don't know, like in Hollywood, Los Angeles, acting studios throughout
yeah.
are weird, bro.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
a weird
that's
ass
what I mean.
energy.
Yeah, and
like,
everything-
What though? Like,
like,
the
because-
energy is going all over the
no,
place.
Because look, I mean, you have thousands of actors from all over the world, literally all over the world,
yeah.
and they come and
coming
try
to
to
LA.
be, but they're
They wanna be
everybody-
movie stars.
Yeah, they want to be
Okay.
movie stars, so they're coming with this hungry, needy energy. And then they're trying to recreate themselves.
Yeah.
I could come here. Nobody knows who I am.
Yeah.
Got you. So I
So
could be
it's-
whoever I want
I
to
could be whoever I want to
They
be.
got the mask on strong.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
same thing that turns
Right.
them on to acting in the first place, to play somebody else, to live a different
they don't
life.
wanna be who they
it's,
are.
But it's like it's a nasty energy, and then there's people feeding off of that energy, and like young women and young men, you know what I'm saying, thinking
Just
that
getting
might
weird
just
with
getting
each other.
weird. Yeah, just
So-
like
so-
Like walk in like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Why
Yeah,
is
so
everybody
so
paying
so
Twister?
so everything's going on over there.
let's be real. No,
And it's
hey,
my-
but you know
yeah.
what I like? See, I got Ali and I got Tui right here because we met each other at that acting studio. They're like,
Yeah.
fuck.
So okay, so let me clear it up. So it's
when
my
this Walter walked
it's
in-
my job. So it's my job to make sure that I create a safe place within it all, and I take a lot of pride in doing that. And my studio is a safe home
Yeah.
for actors.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I had to open up my own studio. But I see it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So I see Richard. I don't know him. He comes in. He sits down all by himself. He's in the corner, in the back corner.
Did he stand
I'm
out?
still institutionalized.
Yeah, he stood out like a
I'm
sore
tatted on my
thumb.
neck. I'm the only
Okay.
He stood out like a
Mexican
sore
dude.
thumb. So I was like,
Back against the wall.
It's my job to
Sharp-
make
Yeah.
sure.
Sharpening shit in the
Yeah.
back of the studio.
Well, he said, I don't know. In my mind, it was so long ago. In my mind, I see you with the hood.
was
I don't know
down
if you
the
had a
hood,
hood,
bro. Yeah.
but I see you with the hood. So I tell the story that
That he had a hood.
I don't know if he had a
He
hood.
thought he was gonna rob
The
me.
story's better with a hood.
I don't know if this Walter wants acting lessons or he's gonna rob me.
Yeah. So I come on. So I sit down next to him. It starts really, really, really slow. My job to keep everyone safe and make sure everyone is just feels like they could open up or whatever.
Okay.
But everyone's different.
Yeah.
And I saw that he was different. So I sit down next to him.
But who isn't different though, right?
Everybody's different.
Everybody, yeah. All right.
My name's Anthony. My name's Richard. Okay. And that's it. That's all you need for the first day.
Okay.
Then I see him the next day. Hey, Richard, how you doing? See, now he knows my name. I know his name.
Gotcha.
And we start talking. Little by little, we start talking. Yeah. Tells me about Homeboy. Tells me that he had an opportunity to do a TV
Movie.
show.
Yeah, I already did a movie by
what he
then.
did, Southland?
Yeah,
And then
I
the
did
TV show he
Southland
did,
and
Southland.
A Better Life with
Yeah.
Jamie.
That's right. So the casting came into Homeboys. They're looking for the real deal and stuff
Right.
like that. So he catches the bug. So I see that he catches the bug. But I also see that he likes to tell stories, and he's turned on by stories. So after I knew him for a little while, I know that storytelling's going to change his life. It's gonna just have him open up. And once he realizes that everyone in the room, including me, is all here for the same reason, to tell stories, right? Or at least they should be. At least I don't
Right.
know. I can't vouch for everybody.
Okay.
So I tell him, okay, there's a couple of writers I want you to read. I want you to read Miguel Pinheiro.
Piñero and
Stephen Adley Gerges.
Those are it.
And just, I told him, read these plays, read this book, you come back.
And then I went to the bookstore.
And so what'd you think about him?
Yeah.
A good question. I never heard this side of the story.
What'd you think about this book?
I thought that I thought he wasn't a person to be pushed, like pushed over, like he wasn't he was stern and it was straight up and and that was good like that, because like I'm not knocking other teachers and stuff, bro, but like sometimes, it was just on the total opposite of the world, and like he was just coming real, bro, like so I hadn't been exposed to too much, but like I knew there was something real in his heart, so like that was a good place to start off like that.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah. And the thing that impressed me about Richard after I started meeting him was he comes and he's like, this a week goes by. Tells me I went to the bookstore, I saw the thing, I read this already.
I got everything.
And he said, yeah. And then another week goes by. And this is how I knew that Richard was a special motherfucker.
Okay.
He comes in, Anthony, did you read this? Did you read that? Now he's telling me.
He's asking you shit.
Now, he said, so read this, read that, read that. I said, yeah, I read that. I read that. I got that. What about this? Oh, I didn't read that. And now I find myself going to the bookstore. Oh shit! I'm like, what the fuck? I gotta have my shit together, because it's my job to make sure that I'm giving him a place where he could open up. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, he's not gonna open up. Nobody is. So I got to be on top of my game. And that's when I knew. I was like, all right, there's something special here. And it all comes from storytelling. Then we sit down, man to man. And not teacher to actor or anything like that. And that's when everything changes. And we start talking about the things that I went through coming up, because I'm older than him, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, when I was in my 20s, I had a tough time with this drugs and that kind of stuff. And he's like, well, when I was a teenager, I had trouble with this, and the story started to sound very familiar.
Okay.
Like it was almost like I'm starting a story and he's finishing it. He's finishing my story. He's starting a story and I'm finishing his story.
And so if you can share, briefly some of those things that you went through.
Well, okay, it's a perfect example. I tell him that I had an addiction, and I had an addiction for a long time.
Right.
Opioids, in the 90s, OCs were really big in my neighborhood, in my area in Boston. And so I got caught up. But I was functional. I had a construction business. I was working. I was a worker. So I didn't consider myself a junkie in the street. You know what I mean? So I'm talking to Richard, and he's like, I could tell it was still new. So how much he could open up, he's still trying to figure out how much he could open up. So I figure if I open up and I just speak the truth, then I give him permission to speak the truth.
Yeah.
She's like, I had that too, I had my run-in with addiction and stuff like that. And say, okay, good. Gang life. Now, gang life back home for me is a little bit different. It's, we have the crews, we have our neighborhoods, and because it's small, a neighborhood is like a gang. You know what I mean? So someone from that neighborhood is, you wander into someone else's neighborhood and you're in trouble. And I start talking like that, and he's like, well, that's the way it was there. That's the way it was there. And the thing that I realized, and I'm sure Richard realized at the time, once we started telling our own stories, is it came down to family and belonging to something. And once we said, okay, I did the drugs to numb the pain because I was in pain.
Gotcha.
And that we had that in common. I joined the gang. I had my neighborhood. I had my friends, and we stuck together, and we fought for one another, and we'd take a bullet for each other because we needed to be a part of something. We needed to be a part of a family. And he had that in common. So right there, that's it. Now we're the same. It doesn't matter. The 3,000 miles that we had between us just...
Pain is the great equalizer.
Yeah, exactly. He's telling me that he grew up without a father. Well, I grew up without a father, too. And he had problems with his mother's boyfriends. I had problems with my mother's boyfriends and stuff like that. Come down to, this could get really dangerous, you know what I mean? And it's like, all right, now you're a teenager, you're not equipped to deal with this kind of shit.
Yeah.
I never told those stories before.
Damn.
And he's telling me this story, it's like...
That's why what you just said right now a little while ago, that shit stands out to me, because you said, I told my truth,
Yeah.
And then gave him permission to tell
Exactly.
his story.
Exactly.
And so sometimes, dog, like we get in conversations, it's surface level shit.
Yeah.
Because we're just kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like a standoff.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
oh,
You're just
you know,
jabbing,
like,
until you
feeling
start
each other.
getting,
You
you
go,
start.
you know what?
But I think
that was brave, dog.
Yeah, but everything reverted, Anthony, back to storytelling. Everything,
100%.
every conversation, bro. Not until like years later, like 3 years later, did we really start like talking like on some friend level. But in the beginning, everything reverted back to the scene, to the scene,
to
the
come
scene,
back to acting because
acting.
at the end of the day, I was
You
his acting coach.
Because
So I had to.
You couldn't get to epic storytelling until you were able to talk about that. So even though, but it was always like, how does this strengthen your character?
Yeah.
Because when you're bringing these characters to life, you have to you have to dig deep, and you have to dig deep within yourself, bro.
Is in yourself.
It's in you. You can't I'm like, no, it's not from over
gotta
there.
connect
It's
with your
from
own
yourself.
But I say all the time, it's like your character is in a script. It's a piece of paper. You're the human being. So your understanding of the world and your story and your heart and soul, you're the one that bleeds. A piece of paper doesn't bleed. And you're Richard and a lot of actors when they open up and they understand that that's the story that we're telling. But I am a heartbeat that's going to tell the story,
Right.
and it's going to come off the page, and I'm going to add the humanity to the story, and that's my job.
Right.
You're the vessel.
So
huh?
you got to keep on chipping.
exactly.
You got to keep on getting in there and just peeling back the layers. And I mean, since we're talking about that, I think the number one scene, bro, and I still remember that scene. It was a scene of Den of Thieves, Stephen Ali Gergis, and it's when Flaco, right? Flaco, he's pleading for his life, bro, and we're gonna put the link of
Who's Flaco?
So Flaco
Is a character
is
in
a
the
character,
story.
bro, in the story. And this scene is the one that cracked me. And I don't know for every actor or artist,
took
but
you there.
it took me there.
right.
It took me. You remember that day, right?
I remember it like it was
Let's talk
yesterday,
about
man.
that scene.
Yeah.
So
Had to be at least 6 years ago, or at least, if not more. Yeah.
And we're
So
sitting.
you asked him to do a scene, or
He's in my class.
Okay.
He gets. I give him a play to do. He works it out. I want to do this monologue. The character is
Yeah.
Flaco. So now he's on stage all by himself in front of the class, and I'm
Yeah.
teaching the class.
okay.
So
Yeah.
then so take it from there.
So it's the turning point of these characters. So we'll just break down the story real fast. It's four characters, right? They get caught up in this mob, right?
Yeah.
And they
Den
try to
of
jack.
Thieves.
Yeah, they Den of Thieves. They try to jack the mob dude, and they all are held ransom. No, not even ransom, right? They're gonna get killed.
They all gotta fight for their lives. They're
Yeah,
all tied,
exactly.
they're tied to a chair, and they have to fight for their lives, but use their words to fight for
Right,
their lives.
and the mob guy comes back and he was like, he was like, I'm gonna come back and one of you guys has to sacrifice yourself. So they start telling that whole night why I shouldn't die.
Damn.
Right, that's it.
So they're all saying. So they all have a monologue. This is why I
shouldn't
live.
die. This is why you guys should die and I shouldn't die.
Yeah.
And at this whole time, Flaco was just a deadbeat, bro. Like he's just a gangster. He abuses his women. He's everything.
And you're
that-
playing Flaco.
Right. I'm
Yes,
playing Flaco.
yes.
And so it starts off and like he just starts talking about it. He was like, he was like, how does I don't really remember like the whole details.
So basically, it's like Flaco's a bad dude, and there's another guy that's a nice guy. So one guy, his character's
Paul.
name Paul, and he's saying the reason why I should live is because I'm a nice guy. I could do this, I could do that,
Yeah.
and I could do this, and I could do that. And then Flaco's like,
You know
something,
what?
man, I'm just
Fuck
gonna tell the
that.
truth.
Yeah.
I'm not like you.
Yeah.
You are a nicer guy. You are a better man than me. But my day is coming.
Yeah, my day. Yeah.
And you don't know. I'm the kind of guy that could be the next Malcolm X.
Max and shit. You know, he was like, I've robbed a nun. You know, I've robbed two nuns.
Yeah.
And he just
said, I'm
starts
a bad-
yeah,
I'm-
he's
I'm
like,
a
I'm a
bad
bad
person.
guy. He was like, but if you lived a day in my shoes,
Right.
you wouldn't
You'd
survive.
understand.
Yeah, you'd understand, and like he's pretty much telling him, you don't know what I've been through.
And
You don't know,
so-
right?
And that tapped into Richard, man.
Yeah,
And he could
and
really
it's that.
identify.
So you went there.
Yeah, and I went there, bro.
And
You don't know what I've been through. Like if you lived a day in my shoes, and bro, that's our story. Flaco's is our story, bro. That's a homeboy story. That's a North End story, bro. Because if you lived how we lived, if you had to suffer
Then
how
you
we
would
suffered, then
understand.
you would fucking
get
understand
it.
why I
Of course.
am how I am. He was like,
And then it comes down to like the beautiful thing about stories. So you take something, okay, so Richard could identify with the character, and he's opening up. And I'm sure when he was sitting on the chair in front of an acting class and he was doing his thing, I'm sure he didn't feel like Flacco. He felt like Richard telling his story through a character. And that's when an actor's really, really doing it. But then, like, what I call, the thing that I say to my actors is, you have to find the empathy for your characters. Yeah. And the cool thing about that is empathy is a powerful thing. And you have to know somebody's story to be able to empathize with them. Now, I was listening to the last podcast that you did with Father G, and I think you were asking him a question about, like, you know, why him? Why did he go into this neighborhood? He wasn't born into a neighborhood like this. He didn't grow up in the streets like that. And Father G was like, no, he describes it as he won the lottery.
Yeah, he won the lottery.
Right.
But why? So basically what happened was he started hearing the stories, and he started empathizing with the humanity. And now he's like, okay, so why am I better than him? And if I'm not better than him, but I'm in a better position than him, isn't it my duty to make sure that I provide something, an outlet? And all he really did was provide an opportunity for you to tell your story.
Yeah.
Then you feel better. And that's what Richard tapped into with these characters. And then the floodgates started going with Richard, man.
But
like
that scene, bro, like that scene rocked me.
did.
But I remember, like, we did it twice. And I remember the second he was like, that was good, Richard, but do something different. And then I remember, right before that scene, like, the emotion just started
Well, it's like,
stirring.
it's time, Rich.
And
It's time. I looked him in the eyes. I was like, it's time. It's
Tell
time.
your story.
It's time. It's
And
time to tell your story.
And I just broke, bro. I remember I broke, and I'm just right there, and I'm sitting in the chair, and I'm lost, bro, and I'm just delivering the lines, bro, and the tears are just flowing down my face, bro. And like, I'm telling, it's not Flacco's story no more. It's
story.
Richard's story. You know?
But he was saying the words in the
same
script.
word,
See, it's not about the words. It's about the heart and soul behind the words. He didn't change any of the words. The words were there, and they were written. And that's the power of storytelling. Now, you empathize with somebody that you would probably never meet. And when you could do that, that's when the humanity comes into play. And then now all of a sudden we're the same. You're not darker than me. I'm not lighter than you. We're red. We bleed. If you get cut and I get cut, you can't tell the difference. And I think that the power of storytelling provides that opportunity for empathy. And once we reach that, that's how you heal the world.
Right.
That's how you heal the world. And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, if we're gonna tell you're gonna invite me in and we're gonna talk about storytelling, then we're gonna fucking do this. I'm assuming that's why I'm here.
Yeah, that's why you're here. So I'm thinking about my story.
Yeah, so that's a perfect example because I met last week. I saw you.
Cut.
No?
Okay. Well, I said I'll give you a perfect example. I see Jose. Last week we do the ceremony, right? Yeah. Beautiful thing, and I meet your son.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now his son's a 10-year-old boy.
10 years old,
right?
you know?
He's like a little Jose.
Yeah.
So I go out to him and say, Jose. So I'm talking to him, and then it's like, all right, now all of a sudden, Jose's with his 10-year-old son. I haven't had a father since I was 3 years old. I don't remember my father. I was too young. But I saw that, and I saw your story. And then you told me, yeah, I didn't grow up without a father either. So it was very important for you to be a good father. And I saw you being a good father. So now all of a sudden, I felt myself magnetic. It was like a connection there, like a chemistry. I was like, man, it's this. And just seeing them together, just sitting down together, just making me cry, man. I was like, yes, I don't know if you noticed, but I was like, I almost couldn't even look anymore. And that's your story. So tell me, being a father, what does it mean to you? Because it means something different to everybody. Rich is a father too. You know, he didn't really have a male role model either. Yeah. But talk to me about this now, because that's a story that...
My thing is like being a father is everything.
Yeah.
It has to be everything.
Yeah.
So everything that I do has to come from a place of that's who I am in this world. Because I didn't have a dad. Yeah. And so I'll tell you it's crazy, dog. It's fucking trippy, homie. So my cousin had just passed away and I got moved to this place, dog. I was a kid. I was 13 years old. They put me on a Greyhound bus and they sent me to live with somebody that I never knew before. It was my godmother's ex-girlfriend. And I lived with her, dog. And I wanted to go home, you know, to the home that I thought I had. It was a broken home, but I was familiar with it. And I was living with somebody that I didn't want to live with. Shit was going on in that house that that I didn't want to happen to me, but it was happening. Just different shit was happening. And I wanted to go home, dog. And I remember I had this experience where she tripped out on me one night. She flipped out. I'm going to go drop off some movies. This is when Hollywood Video had in the movies. I'm going to drop off some videos. And she pulls up on the side of me. Boom. She had a son the same age as me. And she goes, get in. And I was like, all right. I get in. And as soon as I get in, she starts hitting me. Boom, boom. She's grabbing me, pinching me and shit.
Wow.
And I'm just like taking it. You know what I mean? I'm a gangster. I went up there already bald, Frisco Benz.
Yeah.
And then I just like I wanted to go home, dog. And she would tell me shit like, your mom don't give a fuck about you. Like, I'm taking care of you. Like, nobody really gives a fuck about you. Yeah. And I'm like, damn. And so I went into the restroom, dog. And because I didn't want to cry in front of nobody. And so I go into the restroom. I'm a gangster. Fucking size 50s, Frisco's on. And I'm 14 years old now. By this time, I go into the restroom and I just cry, dog. And I'm praying to God. And I'm saying, God, so there was 5 of us growing up. I'm saying, God, if you give me 5 kids, I promise you I'll take care of them. And they'll never go through what I'm going through.
Damn.
Fast forward, homie, to my life today. I have 5 kids, dog.
Kids. Yeah.
And that shit just started like making sense like recently, like a couple years ago. I prayed that prayer, dog.
Can I ask you a personal question? And we're talking about storytelling and how powerful it is. Did you ever tell that story to little Jose? I know he's young, but did you ever tell that story?
I haven't.
Would you?
I probably would. I probably would.
I mean,
because it's my truth, you know.
Exactly.
And they know my life. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the thing. It's like what we were talking about. It's like, you know, you tell your truth, right? So you open up, you give them permission to be the kind of man that opens up and tells their truth. And that's the biggest gift that you could give them. But you see how it's storytelling that gives you that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And now it's like, okay, he doesn't have to live the same life that you did, go through the same pain. I mean, of course, he'll have his own pain and he'll have his own story, but isn't that the man that you want him to be?
For sure.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the way this goes.
Yeah.
You know?
Because look, dog, I just like out of everything that was said, the thing that stood out to me the most is our truth.
Right.
And us telling our truth gives other people permission to tell their truth. And then there's healing in that.
Right.
Yeah.
There's not only healing, but then there's connection in that.
And that's the power of a storyteller, bro. Like we talk about like acting, and it's not all that. It's storytelling,
It's
bro.
all
So
storytelling.
Okay.
When in my studio, once I opened up my own studio, I made sure that the message was not to act and not to perform.
Right.
It's to tell a story. You are an artist. It's the art of humanity.
Damn.
And our art form is storytelling.
Right.
And my actors understand that. They transcend the like you talked about in your play.
Right.
And I'm sorry, like you talked about in your poem.
Yeah.
It transcends just method and stuff like that. At the end of the day, there's no method. It's humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're telling a story. And once we do that, then we give the audience permission to see their truth.
Yeah.
And then once the audience sees their truth, they could translate the story their way. And that's the gift that storytellers give to their audience. You know?
And that's liberating.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's harder to be somebody else.
And I mean,
Do you get what I'm
when
saying?
you break down all like, I
man.
mean, whether any campaign, anybody that's making changes like that, like even the legends like Martin Luther King and Chavez and Nelson Mandela, they just telling stories.
They
bro.
told their truth.
Telling stories.
They told their truth. They told what they believed, and they told how they were hurt by shit.
Story. Hitler changed, you know. I mean, he did something bad. Don't
Sick,
get me wrong.
twisted story.
Yeah, but he told the story, and people believed it.
A lot of people
like that,
followed
you
him
know?
just
So
because of that.
It's the power of storytelling. But I know we're getting
100%.
close, and I want to just come back to now, years later. You know, our relationship has grown and evolved, and even with Homeboys. And even with the scholarship that we have at the acting studio. So just go ahead and
Well, I mean, I started a nonprofit. We got a 501c3, which we could get donations to sponsor some people. Now, there's a lot of people that Richard has introduced
sponsored,
me to. And it's like, you know, and it started really simple. It's like, all right, I was like, Richard, I have a studio. I want people to come. I want to give opportunities to people that wouldn't have these opportunities. And Richard just okay, there's a homie. He wants to get into it. Doesn't know. Richard, just tell him to come. And little by little, I give him a scholarship and all that stuff. But now we're organized now.
Okay.
And we have the means to do this. Not just the studio. The studio will always be there, but now we have the nonprofit behind it that people could sponsor these homies to come in and get this performing arts education and learn how to tell the stories the right way in a safe environment, in an acting studio that's safe, and it's the Richard Cabral Scholarship. Now, who will back us? I don't know. Whoever is inspired by what we do and what the opportunities that we provide.
And we have success stories already. We have homies. I mean, like Disco Dan.
Yeah, Disco Dan, man. I love him. He's a great fucking actor.
Yeah, Kevin. You know, Kevin's over there. That's
they all came up.
So this is, look, homie, like this is providing people an opportunity to connect with their truth.
Exactly.
And this is something important to get involved in, because if I have Feria, I'd sponsor the shit out of them, but I don't. Hopefully somebody that's watching can be inspired.
Well, that's the thing. Like we want them to be able to say, okay, like money can't be the reason why these homies can't tell the story. You know what I mean? You know,
everybody has to have
free.
the opportunity,
exactly,
to tell their story.
And when there's sponsorship behind it, then they'll have their opportunity. And I mean, who knows where it'll go? You know, Rich is full of ideas. He's gonna wake up tomorrow with a giant idea. Let's just make a movie.
But we're I believe a scholarship, a nonprofit that's willing to create.
Exactly.
That's the we don't just want people's money. We want to let's collaborate. Let's create something. You know, come with 100%. An idea and let's manifest.
Going back to like 100%. What we were saying before we wrap it up, there's somebody's telling a story.
Right.
Like we were saying, fuck, damn, yeah, come drink Canadian Dry. Try to put that out there again. Hopefully we'll get a check from Canadian Dry.
Yeah, good luck.
Anyway, going back to what you were saying about story, right? Someone's telling a story.
Yeah.
And either they're telling a false story, just like what you were saying about, Hitler told a story, but his story was fucked up.
Right.
And so everybody should be given the opportunity to tell their own story.
Right.
Exactly.
Like
because they've been telling our story for us.
They've been telling their story for us.
They told you it's not the right way.
And it's not right and it's not fair.
Yeah.
We want to have an equal playing field.
Yeah.
We want to have the opportunity to be able to tell our own story. That's why we're doing what we're doing here.
But Richard
That's
talks
why
about
you're
this
here.
all the time. He's always like, these stories aren't being told right because they're not being told by the real deal. Exactly. We're going to give the real deal an opportunity to learn how to tell a story.
Right.
And again, it comes down to permission. They don't know how to do it. They think they don't know how to do it, but they do. When they come in, all I'm going to do is give them an opportunity to sit down and say, look, it's not difficult. You already have a story. Whether you're in an emotional, if you're strong enough to tell your story, that's all you have to do. But as long as you're in a safe environment and you have permission
then
to do it,
you can cultivate it.
That's right, exactly. That's what it's really all about.
It's huge.
That's what
just
it's all
having
about.
that circle of positive energy like that.
And it's therapeutic, dog.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's try to make it happen. So if you're watching and you want to get involved with this, with Richard Cabral Scholarship, and Anthony
You got it.
Gilardi.
Yeah, see, trust it, man.
Anthony Gilardi.
Trust it,
I doubt
man.
myself.
I know, you're going to trust it.
Anthony Gilardi's scholarship, get at us. And Canadian Drive, you want to fuck with us? I've been drinking this the whole episode. Fuck with us.
You're going to say
Send
it
us
right.
a
It's
check.
not Canadian Dry, it's Canada Dry. You want
Canada
them to give you
Dry.
money, you got to say
See?
it right, man.
Keep fucking up the... God, the sponsors ain't going to want to sponsor
We're
us.
gonna be broke.
Do I got to teach? Let's do it
I
again.
gotta
All right,
quit
let's-
doing
real
this.
quick,
I gotta quit doing
real
the
quick,
sponsorship.
Take two. Canada
So
Dry.
take two.
Canada Dry. Come on.
I'm sitting here with Anthony Gilardi drinking Canada Dry. If you want to send us a check, we'll get you the P.O. box. We'll be in the link. Fuck with us. Sponsor us. Please sponsor us. We're going broke. We can't keep the lights on.
I think that's a wrap. Put that in the can.
But we
That's
thank
it.
you,
So-
homie. And honestly, we got to bring him back, dog.
No, you're coming. Yeah,
You're coming back, dog.
I'll come back every week,
Because
man.
this
I
is
don't
what
do
this
shit.
show is about, homie.
Yeah.
I'm serious. The show is about our truth and giving other people permission to tell their truth without anybody else's permission.
Yeah.
And so that's what we want to keep doing, dog. You inspired me, homie, tonight.
Yeah.
Serio. I'm serious, dog.
Yeah,
And
me
I
too.
thank you.
Me too. You
I
inspired
thank you because you connect us. By him creating that space, it connects me to my story. By him telling his story. you
Yeah,
know,
and then the
being
dominoes
honest.
start to fall.
And it just happens like that. So
That's right.
thank you, dog. We appreciate
welcome,
you,
man. It's my
being
pleasure,
here with
man.
us, homie.
Right.
My pleasure.
Much love and respect.
Good.
All right. Good.
All right.
Welcome
Awesome.
to another segment
Without your permission.
without your permission.
Lightning round.
Lightning round. Booyah. You ready for this shit, homie?
I don't know
Because
if
we
I
ain't
am or not.
playing. And we're just going to shoot off questions to you.
And
Okay.
Yeah, don't think.
This is,
just
hold on real quick.
Let it come from the heart.
So
I'm not
we
thinking,
have
I can't
this
think.
is another segment of the Arts District
Yeah.
with our good friend James Mooney.
Right.
James,
Yeah.
come on, homie. This
Hi.
is serious shit
Alright.
right now.
Don't fuck
Don't
it up.
fuck this
Don't
up.
fuck it up,
Don't
James.
fuck this episode up, please. We just
Yeah.
had a great.
We didn't
We
fly
just
you
had
in
a-
from New York.
Yeah,
and
from
like,
Ireland for nothing, homie.
Yeah.
So,
Canada Drive, you're watching. We own it. If you have money out there, we need it badly. Well, I don't need it badly. He needs it badly. We're
got
trying to get a
5 kids.
lens for his new camera,
Yeah.
so throw us some money.
tell us about that camera, huh?
What about
See,
his camera?
my camera is fucked up. You lied to me. So look, I bought a camera, you guys.
Yeah.
I took a camera out on credit. This is
James
James
Mooney.
Mooney.
I'm James
James
Mooney.
Mooney. Everybody knows
What's your
James
tag
Mooney.
on Instagram, Mooney? 'Cause you go,
Point, shoot, think.
yeah.
Follow
My
him
dear
on
friend,
Instagram.
My dear friend.
Our
dear
dearest friend.
Yeah.
James
Our dearest
Mooney.
friend, James
I'm
Mooney.
an on-homie, but they're homies. But I'm
He's
not
a
a real
homie.
homie. I tried to be a homie, but they won't let me
Trying
be a
really
homie.
hard, too.
Yeah,
Bro,
every
you're
day.
like the infamous homie.
You're the homie.
No.
You're the.
He's the
Do you know who I
fucking
am? The little Indian.
homie. Don't do that. Don't go there. Don't go there. That's top secret shit, homie. So, look,
He was looking for a tomahawk yesterday. He said to the guy, "Hey, you got the little Indian, the guy that comes out with a tomahawk?" And he goes,
Tell
everything.
him. Tell him.
Okay,
Tell
look.
him.
fuck
Don't
it
be
then. I'm gonna
ashamed
tell
of it. Why you
look,
ashamed?
I'm not ashamed.
Well,
I'll
just
go
talk
there.
about the little Indian.
So we're doing
Yeah.
a photo shoot. All right, look, we're doing a photo shoot. This guy comes from where were you coming from?
From New York.
He just landed from New York.
Madison
He comes-
Square.
Madison Square Garden. The Knicks were playing.
Yeah, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars
Mars was
concert. Anyway,
Right.
he comes, and finds his way to downtown. I meet these cats in downtown, and he starts talking about
"The
this spray.
little Indian."
It's called the
Spray?
Little Indian.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to bodegas trying to find this shit. Tell
What
him
type
the
of
Little
spray?
Indian. What type of spray is it? Tell him.
It's a
Tell him the
happy
stuff
spray.
you use.
It's a.
For all you guys out there in Brooklyn, they
Brooklyn.
all use the little Indian.
You know who you are. You know
Yeah.
what you
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
be ashamed
Hey,
of it.
okay.
Yeah.
Tuncavelli. I'm sorry, I had to let it out of the bag. now
So
you got
this
a lot
spray-
of big Indians out
Hey,
here.
Tell him what the spray does, dog.
I can't say it on
It's
there. There
just,
could be
I mean,
kids
it's-
watching
it's-
this.
it's a love
Let's just
enhancer.
say
It's a
you're
love
with your partner.
enhancer.
You're
It's a
with your
love
partner.
enhancer.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing. You spray.
You drank some Canada Dry.
Canada Dry. Help us
Yeah,
out. We
with
need
ice,
you
a
right
bit of
now.
lime. You have
You
your lady.
You spray a couple sprays of this little Indian, and they say you turn into a big Indian.
Yeah, you
But-
go like a tomahawk.
Anyway, so we're downtown. We're doing a photo shoot. We're going into different little bodegas.
Botanicas.
Botanicas?
Yeah, go.
Nobody in Los Angeles
Has
has,
it-
heard of
yeah.
this shit or has this spray. So I don't even know if it really exists.
Right. But we went.
But we went there. We looked
Right.
for it. We tried. So anyway,
We're
tell 'em
here,
We're
though.
here. We're talking about art,
Yeah.
which is everything's connected
Right.
to art and comes back to art. Even that, because that's
Right.
art.
Yeah.
It
No,
is art.
photography
You get-
is huge,
If
bro.
you, oh, I thought it was a little. It was
That's
an art to
art
keep
too.
it going.
That's
too,
art
right?
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
But we're talking about photography now.
Right.
So
Right.
We all got
Storytelling
cameras
through
now.
photography.
And
But
James,
I want to talk for people that don't know the relationship with me and James and with us though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, our relationship stemmed from like 7 years ago. Or
7
something,
years,
like 7
yeah.
years ago,
You,
and
you weren't out that long. It was you were actually doing a Better Life, and the LA Times had just done a piece on you.
so I was out like maybe a year and a half, 2 years.
Yeah, because you've done the Bruno Mars video as well.
Video,
Music
right?
video as well.
So you were cutting Bruno Mars's hair at that time, right?
Yeah.
And then you've seen me on the music video.
Seen you on the music video, and I was at the being out with Jimmy
Jimmy,
from Urban
from
Kings.
Urban Kings, right?
And then Jimmy, because he was introduced me to some of his artists, your name had cropped up.
right.
So Jimmy had called you, and then you came in, we chatted.
Yeah. We
You
did a
brought the
photo
art,
shoot.
and that was it.
Yeah, and that was
No, you were doing a video. We remember the
Oh,
girl
that's
for the
right,
t-shirts,
yeah,
for the
yeah,
for
yeah,
the
we're doing a
t-shirts.
video with Jimmy.
Yeah.
And that was the beginning of a relationship that
sure.
you know, and it would just be like that, like you changed, yeah, you did change my life, and like in many ways, like to introduce me to like things that I had never seen and ways I had never seen it, you know. But
But
for
likewise, I mean, it goes both ways. It's a two-way street.
yeah, and for like, I mean, especially bringing me out to New York and bringing me out to like just wherever, just always being open like that, and that's something that you've not only crossed through me, but like even the guys that you work with in New York and out here in LA, and that's just the man
He's
that
never
you
taken
are.
me to New York. He takes me to South Central by
You
some
take
railroad
up 2
tracks.
seats right now. We only got to get you on one.
I'm a very large man. That's why, in case you
A
can't
lot
tell.
to love and a lot to give.
A lot of love and a lot of give. A lot of loving to give.
You giving it all out.
So how long we've known each other? About 2-3 days now?
No, but a week.
We go back
week.
about a week, 7
Yeah.
days. He's known you
Something
7
like
years.
that.
I've known him for about 7
7
days.
Yeah. You gave me the phone to hold. Remember?
That's what it is. Yeah. No, hey, but we go back a little ways too
Well,
as well.
he's been
met you
coming
here.
through.
He's
He's been coming to Homeboys
Yeah.
for since we met, bro. Yeah.
And it was like fucking. We hit it off, homie.
Yeah.
So
But you were bigger than me. I didn't have a choice.
I don't like. I ignore your calls sometimes when he calls. I'm gonna admit that
He'd be like,
he calls me at 2
I
in the
cut it in the
morning.
car, yeah.
Sometimes late at night. I'm like, what the fuck, James? He has his shirt off. He's trying to FaceTime me. It's FEMA though. But
I get a little Indian.
yeah. What are you doing over there?
Why
with that
don't you
spray
have a
in your hand?
shirt?
Why do you have Windex in your hand? What are you doing, homie? But anyway, so we just have this. You're a homie to me. In my eyes, you're a homie,
Right.
and it's all connected to like. I feel like we were supposed to meet.
Right.
I feel like I've known you all my life, dog.
No.
And I'm able to be myself around you, and I feel.
Likewise.
I don't know if is that the same
No,
for
no,
you.
of course, likewise.
And
100%.
so,
even like today when we went to the bodega.
yeah, even like today, just being
So we
in
had an
downtown.
experience today, and it could have
Go
gone
ahead, talk
kind of.
about it.
It could have gone slightly left, right?
Oh, when we went to the. Are you talking about the photo shoot after?
yeah.
or-
When we went to the store. Remember with Mikey?
And you
Yeah,
ran
we went
into
to
that.
the store. Tell
So-
them about that experience. Go
So, Mikey is another friend of mine. Jose had brought me over to meet him when we go to the local store. And as we're getting out of the car, this guy looks at Mike and he goes, "What are you bringing cops over here for?"
Yeah, I'm like, fuck. I look like a cop. All right. I guess cops are all fucking tatted up and you're huge as fuck.
So me and Jose ignored the dude,
Yeah.
and Mikey gets into it with the
Yeah,
dude.
so
But
they're
it
going
could've
back
gone-
and forth.
So I just walked away, didn't say anything, walked away.
Yeah.
What?
So, no, they start to go back and forth. I said, hey, homie, don't pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
And it's a trip because the Vato wouldn't even look at me.
Right.
Yeah.
He was just like zoned in.
in.
Because he
boy.
knew he was going to feed off.
Because he knew that he had attracted that energy. I
Yeah,
said, hey,
yeah.
dog, don't pay attention to that fool. I'm serious. And he was like, it looked like Mikey was kind of at first didn't know what to do. Should I fucking like say
Engage?
fucking
Yeah.
engage? But when he got confirmation, like, hey, dog,
Yeah. Cut.
cut that
Yeah.
right now. Let's
Yeah.
go. I told him, come on, let's go in the store. When we got in the store, I was able to explain to him, like, look, G,
Yeah. Don't feed
don't
into
participate in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Energy's gonna come at you.
Yeah.
Deflect it, homie.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
got to. I go, that shit happens to me. And he was kind of like, it was kind of like the first time anybody's ever told him that, it
Yeah.
seemed like.
Yeah.
Because he was like, yeah. I was like, I'm serious, dog.
Yeah.
Like, as a human being, you have, because he's like, oh, he said he's going to fuck me up. He said he's going to cut my throat.
He won't.
I said,
That's the
did he?
thing.
I said, did he touch you? No. Then why are you tripping?
Yeah.
Serio. I go, he's trying to get you out of your element, dog.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah,
all
yeah.
of us as human beings, we have survival instinct. We're going
Yeah.
to be okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You don't have to second think
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
happen. If it happens, don't pay attention to that
Yeah.
shit. And he was
Huge.
like,
It's
it was
huge.
cool, dog. It was a good experience actually.
Right.
Because it reminded me of like what I need to do as well
Mm.
in situations like that.
Yeah.
Because James took me straight to the hood, homie.
Yeah. I know.
I'm like, dog, where we going? We're going to the low bottoms. You feel me? Like, but I'm like, fuck it. You know
Liquor
what I mean?
stores.
And yeah, we're gonna go buy a 40 right now, serio? It's 12 o'clock in the afternoon, dog. You drinking King Cobra? Nah. And then he said he's not a homie, huh? But
Yeah.
no, but I want you to tell no, dog. But honestly, like he took me to like a what do they call those where diamonds are at? Like a diamond mine, homie.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
in the hood, dog. People that are like really engaged.
Guys with iguanas on their head.
Yeah, like I've grown up in the hood, but this part of the hood I haven't seen. Like
Right.
they're really trying to make it.
Yeah.
And they're doing it through dirt bike riding.
Right.
And they have all the kids are out there. They have their gear on, their helmets,
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
dirt bike gear, and it's like I'm like, damn, I wish somebody would have done that for me when I was
Right,
little.
yeah.
Tell them about that and how you got connected with that, James.
I mean, Jose, I think part of it is it's just sometimes it's just by chance. I don't really plan it. So sometimes I'll be somewhere, and the next minute I'll get talking to someone, and the next minute it grows into a relationship. So it's like the experience that happened to us today by the store, I try not to feed into the negative parts, and that's how I always end up in a safe part. Because I guess I feel that energy, and if I feel the negative energy, I don't be part of it. I just keep moving.
So what's your you've been doing this work for quite some time, and if it's not the dirt bikes, it's the kids riding the horses in
Dublin.
in Dublin, or if it's not that, you're out with the pedal bikes in London. Like you're consistently in these environments,
in these urban communities.
in these urban communities. So I think are you trying to strive for something? Do you just happen to get there? Like, what is your overall thoughts, mindsets, and whatever it is that you keeps on putting you in these circles like that?
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. I mean,
Right.
it's something that just drags me there. It's like, I think what inspired me was a conversation that we had when we first met, when you said about the tattoo on your face. Remember that story?
Right.
About your society and her
Yeah,
society.
right.
So it's like, why does it have to be two separate societies? We're all humans at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
it should never be separated. Whereas now you've joined over into both societies. You know what I mean? You're stuck between two societies.
Yeah.
It's like you can go back.
Yeah.
Jose is the same. I can bring Jose into my world or wherever, but he'll feel comfortable there now because he's comfortable with himself.
Right.
So
right.
why does society have to be segregated?
Right.
So it's like it's an outside force that comes in and does that. But it's like when you don't feel like that everything is part as one, when you're walking into it, it's like a tourist. If a tourist gets lost and they end up in their environment, they're not thinking about their environment. They're thinking, oh, and just keep walking because it feels normal.
Right.
But you tell them, it's like, oh shit, do you know where you are right now? You shouldn't be here. Then it's like, oh.
Oh, then you start thinking about it.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
then you walk differently, you hold yourself differently,
Yeah.
you turns up. But if you're open and you let people in,
and
well,
you're
then
just
it's
moving
you're
like
just
that.
moving.
Yeah.
It's not that you're moving any different, it's just you feel at home.
So while you're doing your work and the photography that you're doing, and I'm talking about, because you do a wide range, you do beautiful portraits and the people that you meet, but then you always, for some reason, revert back to being in the neighborhood like that.
Yeah.
So is there something that you're trying to say with that work, or?
Yeah, because I think we've had this conversation before about what are you trying to say through your work, through your art? Like, what's the message you're trying to, tell to the world, homie?
I don't know. I don't think it's about the world. I think it's the people that I photograph is to make them feel important.
Make them feel important.
Yeah, all right.
Because I think it's about them, and I think I'm blessed because first of all they let me photograph them, and second of all, which is huge, is that they let them become part of their lives. So I'm not someone that goes in and then disappears. I stay very much connected with everyone.
Right.
Like when I was in the
we're
car,
in the car.
when I was in the car
from
today,
the county jail, homie.
I'm federal.
Right.
So he's saying he's getting released on bail, but then the day before his mom called,
And that's
sends
a
me
big
a text.
thing because, I think a lot of people that work in the film industry or do photography, it's a common story that they sometimes take advantage of the situations. They come in, and that's in the history of cinematic history. People doing a movie about this urban community, and then they're gone.
But they don't keep the heart
But
of
they
it.
don't
and
keep. That's a huge thing,
And
bro.
the thing, but the thing is, Richard, it's very for me, it's very important to have that honesty in the picture because a lot of people want to take those pictures and use them for something else.
Yeah.
Whereas you'll have other certain brands. Not Canada Dry, of course, because we
Canada Dry.
we love you, Canada Dry, right now. But certain brands,
Of course not Canada Dry.
Canada Dry, not Little Indian, Canada
Never.
Dry.
Low sodium.
Low sodium, yeah, it's good for you.
I love it.
As
Makes me feel
a
like
bit of lime and lemon,
Strong.
beautiful. So I think that a certain brand had been reaching out to the people I'd been photographing, but then they were trying to get them to photograph
The biker dudes.
the biker dudes.
guys. Yeah.
So I get a call from certain
A brand.
going, oh, hey, James,
Yeah.
we'd like to meet. I'm going, okay, no problem. Of course, I'll do what you're looking for. Next minute, I get in contact with the biker guy, and he goes, oh, that's that fool who be hitting me up. We thought he was a cop because he said your name. I go,
They thought he was a cop.
no, because he was mentioning my name and hitting them on Instagram, but they weren't replying to him. So they were sending DMs
Because they didn't know who he was.
who he was. So when
Yeah.
it rang, so we ended up getting the kids more money than what they were offering, and then they ended up in the campaign.
Right. Yeah. And again, people trying to take advantage
Yeah.
of the
So it's like-
And then
situation.
So
you were
look-
sharing, even in the car, I
Even
heard
in the
you were
car.
talking to one of them, going, look, from now on, I'm going to make sure that people are cool that come.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
They're talented, homie. Tell them
Yeah.
about
Yeah,
the
no, man.
talent that's out there.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I've seen the pictures.
you've
bro. I've
seen
been-
it.
So,
yeah,
so,
yeah,
so,
I've
so
seen
I
the
think
work,
for
you
me, I
know?
think a lot of people, they don't really go out into these neighborhoods and sort of spend a lot of time. And I think that, so if you go to a place that doesn't have a lot, they tend to be more creative in order to escape what they're going through. So they can
Right.
dig deeper than
Yeah.
people that have everything because they have more time within themselves.
Right.
So I think you find more creativity because it's like if you see a kid that doesn't have that can't afford a PlayStation, that can't
Or
afford
create
They have to
something.
go out and create something
Right.
in order to stimulate the mind. So it's like either tagging, that's a form of art. But then
Right.
if you use that, it's like, look at how graffiti artists now get
Yeah,
paid so
art
much
galleries
money. Art
and-
galleries,
yeah,
and everything. Everyone wants to be
yeah.
part of it. So the people on the outside want what the inside have, but are too afraid to go in and nurture the inside to make them feel
And to
better.
be mutual.
So you
with the inside.
everywhere, and like what people don't know too is that you're a hairstylist, right?
Yeah, I don't like that part though.
No,
But no, I don't really like that part.
Why
because
no, but I would say that.
no. But okay, so there's two ways looking at it. One is that I love hair because it's given me the tools
Cool.
to move in different communities.
Mm.
Because when you do hair, you're very much you're in control of that person. So if I was to cut your
What
hair,
can you do with my hair?
Well-
Is there would just like no? I want
so
like, just
today,
looking at me.
so
I didn't
okay,
know
so
you
on the
fucked
way
with
over,
hair.
okay, so on the way over
Were
here,
you
I actually
looking-
went
you were
into a
kinda-
store and I found a
okay, go ahead.
beanie, but it's like I
ahead.
said, you know what? No, it looks all right. No, so for me, I think hair.
What would you be able to do with mine? Is it? Can we do bangs in the front? You think?
I think you
Could line
banged
them
them up
up.
over the years.
I was thinking like bangs here, and then we like crop it. No, because I want to bring.
How
out
about
my
mullet?
eyes.
A mullet.
No mullet.
A mullet. I think a mullet would
Party
be
in
good.
the back,
A mullet.
business in the front, baby. Corporate shit. And then you're ready to go right into your evening.
Okay, look at
Spend
so
time with-
yeah.
for hair, it's a great tool because it's like it's something where you're standing in someone's space.
Mm.
You're also touching them,
Yeah, you're in their
You're in their
space.
space.
Yeah.
so you can either make them feel great, or you can make them feel really bad. So if you had to go into your barber today and the clippers had a slip in and you're faded, and then
Oh.
you'd be happy, you'd be sad.
I'd be sad.
Oh, you'd be mad.
So
So
fucked my whole day up.
yeah, exactly. So it's like where hair it gave me the tools that when I go into these places is that if I go in as me, I don't, and I'm open, well then they'll accept me.
Mm.
But if I go in as like I'm better than you, or I know more than you, or I'm looking down on you, well then it becomes something else. And with hair, it sort of teaches you that.
Mm.
So I like hair for that part.
Yeah.
Okay.
So good teachings in that part.
Yeah.
Do you get in some good conversations when you're doing hair?
Yeah, of course.
my God.
Yeah.
You hear about
Because
you
no, go
hear
ahead.
about you could be cutting the woman's
You become
hair,
the therapist, huh?
sort of,
Possibly.
but I never give advice.
You just listen.
Tell me
I just
about some
listen.
good stuff.
Because I
that you-
think the important thing is always to listen. I think that it's like when you're giving advice and you haven't lived through those experiences, it'll be the wrong advice.
Right.
So
right,
I think
right,
sometimes people just want to talk and not to be judged on what they've been.
So
They
through.
just
that's a
say,
good
"Get it out."
therapist.
So it's
though.
like-
a good therapist will sit there and listen to you
Yeah.
and just keep pulling it out.
It's like I had said to Richard, what was it, 2 weeks ago, and I spoke to him, I said, Richard, I've got all this stuff. And I was like, I don't know how to get rid of it because I was getting deeper and deeper into certain things and I was taking on a lot of stuff because I'm not there to judge. I'm not there to say what's right or wrong. I
Right.
see a lot of stuff that I would never do, but
Okay.
it's not for me to say, oh, you shouldn't do that because I don't know what they've been through in order to end up for them to do that.
Yeah.
With all the places that you go to, and I would think no, but do you have like a favorite place that you like when you're there and you're
Besides the
working?
liquor
Yeah, when
store.
you're working in the
Besides
hood
the liquor store.
or just everywhere. Like,
Just everywhere because I think
Right.
everywhere is different and everybody's different. I think
but you spend
everybody's
a lot of time in New York, though, right?
Well, that's
Most
because
of-
my
most
work
of
is there.
Most
So
of
it's
the time
like-
is in New York.
Yeah. But for me, if I could spend, I'd spend just as much time here. I'd love to be able to spread
Right.
myself thinner.
Right.
And the places went so far apart that I want to get to.
Right.
So it's like trying to find times like, between work and doing a project or going to see friends. It's like, trying to ring you or trying to ring Jose
Right.
or, going out to see the guy Mikey, then have to leave them to come here. It's like sometimes time isn't enough.
Right.
Because it's like sometimes like, when you're happy in life, time disappears like this.
Yeah.
But when you're not happy in life, it's like,
like
oh my
right.
God, when's the next minute over?
So I mean, we know that a huge part of it has been covering the streets, but can we shed any light about the work over there in Orange County?
Oh yeah.
Because I
Tell
think
about
that's
Orange
kind
County.
of dope right there.
So Richard took me to meet
Orange County
County
Hall.
Juvenile Hall. He introduced me to this amazing young lady called Crystal.
Yeah.
And Crystal, sorry, when I met her, she invited me back after being in with Richard, and she gave me the opportunity to introduce her to other people to try and have other things done inside, which I thought was amazing.
1 second. So these kids are fighting on life
Well,
sentences.
they're coming back. They're coming back from like some of them had life sentences.
But yeah, some of them have life sentences, but they're in
Yeah.
between the ages of like 14
14
to
to
18,
17.
Yeah.
say 18, 17.
Yeah.
And they're all potentially fighting lengthy sentences,
Lengthy
some
sentences,
some
yeah.
life sentences. And these are the kids that you've been working with.
Yeah.
That I introduced you and you've been working
Yeah.
with for
Same thing.
Yeah. And there's probably like 20, 30 of them, right?
Yeah, and they have their
Yeah.
own module.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, some of the stuff that she's doing is just super
No.
Right,
amazing.
right.
Talk about some of that stuff. if you
So one
want.
thing is we took in Mari, who works for ASICS, and she's one of the
ASICS
chief
shoes,
designers,
yeah.
ASICS shoes and sportswear.
Didn't you get Dove over there? Too?
So we got thank you, Dove.
thank you, Dove.
Thank you,
Dove.
We love you, Dove.
For
if you
hook-
got us
for
some more
hooking,
fetty,
for
you
hooking
can
up
send
all
our
the
way.
girls and all the boys with
Yeah,
We
that
shampoo.
was
love your
beautiful.
soap. It
Conditioner.
makes your skin feel very
Oh,
soft.
and we
Yeah.
gotta thank Annie as well, because she made these amazing nut bars for all the kids in there. Thank you for sharing,
yeah,
Annie.
yeah.
You made a lot of happy faces, and you made less hungry boys and girls in there with something
Thank
to
you.
eat, and it was healthy,
Yeah.
which is great. Which is another
That's huge, yeah.
problem, because a lot of these kids, they don't really get that nourishment because
Yeah,
they're
that's
not
when they get it
educated
from
in
the
food.
hood like
So it's like
that,
they're
yeah.
giving sugar. It's like if you've got an EMT card,
The
is that-
EBT.
EBT.
yeah.
EBT card,
Yeah.
it's like, well, you can get 6 liters of Coca-Cola versus a liter of water.
You're
So
gonna
you're
get the
going to get 6
Coca-Cola,
liters
yeah.
of Coca-Cola, which is going to kill the kid and make them obese. You can get
Crazy.
you can get what was it? You can get half a pound or a pound of potatoes versus 8 bags of potato chips. So it's like, what choice does the kid have but to get all
Wow.
this salt, sodium,
Yeah, it's crazy. Though.
and nothing healthy?
It's crazy, but it's true. I mean, look
It's
at
a
me.
reality.
Look at what happened to me.
Yeah, but you're not eating meat no
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
vegetarian.
So
But so I mean, so that project, let's
jumping all over
A6,
it. Look.
A6.
A6 Dove
talk about what it's like in that
Asics.
module, dog. And when you
inside.
go in there, what it's like to be in there.
It-
Because
it-
you
it-
end up
it-
getting
it-
me to go.
it-
Remember?
Yeah, that's right. And
Yeah.
you weren't going to go for it because it
Yeah.
took me. I had to ring you a few times to
Yeah,
go,
and
Jose,
it's
you need to
crazy.
ring her back. And he's
You
like,
gotta
he
check
didn't
this
ring her
out.
back. And he's
And I
going,
was
no,
like,
no, no.
yeah,
But I said,
no,
he's
I'm
like,
really
no,
sorry,
yeah, of
yeah.
course I'll do it. I said, Jose, she really needs help with barbers because no one is showing up.
And then
these
we
kids
went,
need you. And they
and
went.
it was like,
Yeah.
fuck, homie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that's great though. I mean hook it up with A6 and with
Dove.
yeah for that project that's coming up.
Yeah,
right?
so okay, on the 4th of December, there's going to be a fashion show in Orange County Juvenile Hall. A6 are going to take X amount of the clothing that's being designed by the children with the help of Mari. And Mari, you're amazing because you're giving these kids these opportunity. And if it wasn't for you, and your belief in what Crystal's doing with with these young kids, A6 would never have supporting you. So
Right.
amazing, thank you. And I think that when these children see what they're capable of, I think that when they do come home, they have an opportunity to go, I believe in me and I can do something for me for a change where I don't need a collective of. I mean, I hate that word gang because it's like a name of something that doesn't really mean anything. It's like because when you're when you're out in these neighborhoods, it's not really a collective. It's very much individual. So they don't really come together as a gang. It's like if you have a shoal of fish will, go together, swim together, work together in order to get to where they need to be. It's like, a flock of birds, they do the same thing. They all navigate to get to, the one destination, but they do it in a safe way that they all follow each other and they trust someone above. But when you've got a gang, it's like, it doesn't really work like that because for me, what I've noticed is that you just have a lot of lost children that aren't really nurtured to grow up because there's not really someone that's leading them down the right path.
Right.
You know what I mean? But that's why I never judge them because they don't know any better. So they don't have someone go, you're a great guy. Maybe if you looked at this, well, then it'd be different for you. Or in school, you don't get that. They don't get that nurture that they need because the teachers are overwhelmed. But it's like if you have a kid that's not keeping up with another kid, that kid is pressured so much because he's like, so then he'll go off and join someone who's on his level in order to feel good about himself and beat up the kid who's doing good.
Damn, man.
And that's through all these years of working with the community like that.
No, but it's meeting people like you as well. It's not. It's like, I think that it's like for me, it's sad because it's like, why call it a gang when it's not really a gang,
Right.
right? Is it a gang?
Right.
No, it's
not-
just
yeah,
that.
a
It's
bunch
us
of
being broken.
Yeah.
It's us being
But no
broken.
true leader, right? Because
No.
you're right.
And no
Again,
true
yeah,
direction.
Yeah.
And no
But you
true,
have someone
like,
up
help.
on. But you have someone on top who's bringing the shit in to do what they need to do. But it's like outside of
But
that.
it's
how much
just
time is
complete brokenness, dog.
Yeah.
It's just you hit it right on the head, homie. It's us just being broken and being on the same side of the street.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That's it.
society wants to call it a certain
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah,
and
like we're
label
moving
it,
in-
label
in-
it like
in
that.
this-
But it's
in
not.
this way,
It's
and
really
we're not.
not.
Yeah.
But
It's
you
not,
hit it
it's a
right on
level.
the head.
But,
You
then,
know-
but the other thing that sort of hit me was that I went to North Dakota
Right, North Dakota with
With-
Pine
with-
Ridge
with
Reservation.
Pine Ridge Reservation, right?
So with South Dakota Pine Ridge,
So-
and then we went up to Standing Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, last.
And it was amazing. So it was us as a collective, and I'd never done a sweat lodge before, and I'd done a sweat with Richard. And I was like, it was kind of inspirational, and it was kind of amazing sort of to hear a group of men come together and sit together. But then when we left, it was, I felt like, oh, this is sort of strange. I never felt like that before. And, what's it about? And I didn't want to think about it because then I didn't want to rationalize it. I just wanted to experience the emotion. So we went to Standing Rock. When we done, Richard and a few other people, they sort of got this Humble Industries where they donated loads of stuff.
Right.
So when we left, we went to San Francisco.
Yeah.
And then we went to San Francisco. Richard done another sweat and Paulie. But then I wouldn't go into the sweat because I didn't understand what was going on. Like I didn't want to go inside and then question what was I here for. I didn't want to have those same thoughts I had when I came. So while I was on the outside and these guys were on the inside, I met this guy called Jack. And I'm going to this because there's a reason behind. Now I'm jumping all over the place. So I met Jack, and Jack had told me his story about that his wife done this jewelry, and they were all part of it anyway. So when Jack said to me, he says, "Look, if you're ever over in Reno, Nevada, give me a call." Because I said, "Look, I'll photograph your wife's stuff wherever we set page." So I end up on a job near Reno, call Jack, go to spend time with him, and it was a super sad moment. Because what I realized was, it's like, so people say gang, and I'm thinking, what's this? Like people making money, or these kids that are lost. And then what hit the nail on the head was that on these reservations, you have these cartels coming in who are going into the reservations and producing crystal meth. And what's the problem on the reservations now?
Meth. That's what it was in South Dakota.
Same thing. So it's
meth and alcohol.
So you have these kids that thinking that they're going to make quick money by doing what they're doing, but then who loses? But the kids, because they think they're going to make money, but they don't make money because they get hooked on it. Same things in the neighborhoods. You go to the neighborhood, you think you're going to make quick money by selling drugs or selling something. It's like, oh, you sell this bit of weed, you'll do this. You sell this bit of crack, you do this. So it's a losing game. So is it really a gang?
Right.
It's just brokenness, dog.
Yeah, it's lost.
It's just real deep brokenness.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump all over.
No, this is your time, bro. This is your story. That's why we brought you here.
Because it all comes back to that.
Yeah.
And like now I understand more why, you know, you're able to connect so much because you understand, you get it.
Well, I feel part of it because I'm no different. I'm the same.
What do you mean?
Because it's like I bleed the same color as those. I'm not higher, I'm not lower.
Yeah.
It's like this.
But what
They
allows
might
you to see what you see? That's the thing.
What allows me to see what I see through them, or what they allow me to see? What's the question?
Why does it affect you like that?
No. So what affected me was when I rang you and said, "Oh God, this is heavy," because I'd seen a certain thing but then I couldn't react on because that's their normality.
Right.
That's what they're used to.
Right.
And
So
just because I didn't grow up with them, I can't judge that, but it affected me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was like, oh God, I need to get rid of this because I shouldn't have seen that.
Yeah.
You know? But then they don't know any different
Right.
because either they've taken some drugs or it's
Or
just
that's their norm now, right?
Yeah.
Man, I just want to say that fucking I feel very humbled to be on this show, and I'll tell you why. Because every episode I learn something, dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not no specialist in anything. I
Right.
want to be a student. And hearing you talk, and we clown a lot, dog. You know what I'm saying? But hearing you go there to these moments, like you're enlightening me. You're inspiring. You're inspiring the shit out of me, dog.
Yeah, but it goes both ways.
And I appreciate you. You know, because that's wisdom. That's wisdom to be able to have sight to see like what people are suffering from.
Yeah.
We could pass people all day long on the street, dog.
Yeah. But to
And
really
and
just
to
come
really
from
to go,
here.
fuck, you're suffering.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
feel
And
you.
to see it like and understand it and
Yeah.
have empathy for it.
And go out of your way to try to help like that.
It's like, damn, who was that? I think they're already Canada Dry is hitting us up
sponsored us?
already. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just sponsored us, but I gotta check the email after.
And now
But to
teaching
be
us
able
how
to
to
connect to that shit, dog, is powerful.
Yeah.
That's what life's all about.
Connection.
How do we get people there?
Right.
You know, by being honest and telling them what we see, what we've been allowed to see. And that's what you do through your fucking photos, dog.
Well,
I think that's what's just that. I'm like, damn, what is it? If I look, if you go on Instagram and you look at his photos, it's just he's just all he's doing is showing you people's truth.
Yeah, the humanity.
The humanity in people. No matter if they grew up in South Central, England, some of the shit, some of the pictures from out there, I'm like, damn, it's pain is the great equalizer.
Right.
But that's the thing. I think that like people think that the pain is just in one place, but it's not. It's a worldwide thing. But for me, what I've realized is that I think sometimes it's not sometimes, it's a lot of the time, I think society creates that pain. And I think it's the favorite societies because they don't really, take the money or want to put education into these areas because they want to hold these people back. I shouldn't say people. They want to hold these boys and girls back and not being able to move forward because they don't give them the same opportunities where if you're a white privileged kid, and you're living on the Upper West Side versus someone that lives in Brownsville, there's no way that kid in Brownsville is going to have the same opportunities because they're already going to. So it's like if you grow up in these neighborhoods
You're
where
starting off.
well, you already have a stigmatism as soon as you come out of the womb. The stigmatism is, why am I in this family? Or, the police look at me this way, so I'm automatically a bad kid because they're looking at me that way. Why is dad hitting mom like that? Oh, maybe it's normal. It's okay, so I can do that. So it's like, but there's no one when they go to school to help to nurture them. So if they've got a nature that's going like this, there's no one to come in and take that nature and nurture it in the right way. And I'm saying this because I got educated when I went to Mexicali with Joey, Jesse, Brill, and Jesse had explained this story to me about nature versus nurture, and it was something that I'd never heard before. And he opened my eyes massively that day because I never knew. It was like, well, there was a whole study done on this whole thing, and it amazes me. But then when I go into these neighborhoods and see my friends, it's like, okay, I get it now. So it's like if schools took enough time to, where education is concerned, where teachers are taught in a way of empathy instead of going, oh, you're a bad kid, or you need to do this, but be able to embrace them instead of beat them over being bad. And go, okay, so why are you like this? Okay, so let's talk about that and let's work through it. Then they could probably do better in class, do better in school. And then then when they have their kids, they can educate their kids that way. Instead of the cycle going like this and keep getting broken.
And like going back to what you were saying about, nobody being able to nurture that child. What I really love about your work the most, dog, is you shine light on the ones that are. You shine light on the ones that are in the neighborhood, like where we went earlier.
Yeah.
On the ones that are trying to do whatever they can. Old motorcycles, dog. Trying to fix them up. They're shutting off. They're working on them just so these kids can have an opportunity of a different experience. There's a little bit of dirt by the railroad tracks. That's where they go, and they ride dirt bikes there as if they're somewhere else, as if they're not in South Central. That's what I love about your work.
But then look at that kid that remembering, and then a week later, his buddy had died, and he pulls up a photograph of the kid that I took the picture. And he said, "Oh, remember that kid?" And I'm going, "No." And then he opens the picture, and he goes, "Oh, he's dead now." He took a pill.
But he was happy about the picture.
He was choked.
He was like, "Damn, man.
It's forever. It's forever now."
Those moments. Dude. So, like what you were teaching us earlier, it's not about the camera because I have a fucked up camera.
Maestro now.
Yeah,
right?
he said, he's a philosopher.
Yeah.
He's doing a lecture downtown, right on Skid Row.
We were his students. Yeah, if you've seen it, we were today on Broadway.
On Broadway.
And
we're in training.
Yeah.
Young grasshopper.
But you look like a tourist, though.
Yeah. No, he had all kinds of bags on me. I'm walking around downtown with all kinds of bags hanging from my shoulders. I'm like, why do I got all this shit, James? Do I need all this stuff? No. All I needed was the camera. He got me all strapped up. Anyway, the lesson was it's not about the camera.
Yeah.
It's about capture. It's about the size
of
the boat.
But break it down.
It's not about the camera. It's about the moments that you capture. But then you broke it out
in gangster terms, right? It doesn't matter if you have a 22. You're like, what? You have an AK-47?
Yeah, because these fools have high-end, expensive cameras.
We don't have expensive cameras.
I got it. My camera's plastic. I put my camera down in the restroom. They didn't even steal it.
Okay. But let me say something. I'm gonna wrap now. So let me say something. So Jose had taken a picture, and what I loved about it was that after he showed me the picture, he goes, "I didn't get it," but then he had the balls
to walk like
Sorry, Canada's right. We won't say any more
Canada's
bad
dry.
language.
We'll
So,
refrain from the language.
And Canon, if you have a nice lens that you want to donate to
You wanna
Jose,
donate a
let's
lens?
do it.
I'm
It's like
looking
we're
for a
looking for
lens
hang
right
on.
now.
Well, so we're looking for an 18-55. We're looking for 1.4 to 2.8 would be amazing because it would really help.
Then I would be able to. My
He'd
camera
feel-
would be
he'd
up
feel
to
like-
par.
Yeah, be up to par. So what I liked about Jose was that it's like he didn't give up. That he kept going, and I think that the message is that it's like no matter what you do in life, it's always better to do your best. No matter how bad it is, it'll get better eventually once you keep trying at it. It's like so where every failure, there's always going to be a success, and the success comes from just waking up in the morning, going, "Okay, I'll do it again, and do it again," and then eventually it'll come right. If it doesn't come right,
And I
you can
was
look back and
sweating like a
go,
dog,
"I got
man.
it." He
You
was
were.
sweating.
You were.
This fool has me like, so good, lower, move your ankle. And my body's twisted up like a pretzel.
I was just checking
I'm
you out.
like-
I was like,
I'm like, damn, are you taking pictures of me while I'm trying to take a picture
"No, but that
of
girl
this?
did."
Then some girl walks up and she starts taking pictures
Of
of me. I'm
him.
like, that's strange. Are you taking pictures of my ass? Because I was bent over
I remember
trying
I
to get the
seen you. I was
flag.
like, that looks uncomfortable right
I'm
there.
like, damn, sweating.
Yeah.
But going
You got
back
the
to
shot.
that was the lesson. Is like it's capturing these moments.
Yeah.
That's your gift, dog. Is you're able to capture these moments,
Mm.
and these moments are beautiful, and the world needs to see them.
Right.
Thank
You know,
Thank
so
you,
they
thank
can capture their own moments.
But you know what it
and-
is? It's
and-
not. But it's not.
Ask
But it's not me. It's the it's them.
So, are you ready for the lightning round?
Ask them the main question that you asked.
The main question that I'm going to ask you is, what kind of underwear do you wear? And if you don't have any on, because
That's
I'm
cool.
I'm thinking he doesn't have any. Like, if I had to
That's
say,
that European stuff.
that's that
huh?
European
That-
shit.
that-
I would say he has nothing on under
Yeah.
those dickies.
Yeah.
But what is your take on James Mooney and how he gets down?
Skimpies.
Skips.
I think you're skimp, man.
And we need the honest truth, homie. We need the honest truth. So, what kind of chonies you got on, dog?
Oh, I got J. Crew boxers on. So if you're watching J. Crew, it's J. Crew.
J. Crew.
Yeah.
That's another sponsor.
So we got
Give it
Canada
up, give it up
Dry,
right there.
Canada
Yeah,
Dry.
that's
so
fun.
the so and then we have
J. Crew.
we got the. I don't know, just in case.
Come on, dog. We can't do this shit. Children are watching.
Got J. Crew.
Hey. Damn,
I got
how
my
long you
tight
had those
waist.
bad boys on?
Yeah.
But look, we want to thank you, dog.
And okay,
For real.
okay, and Nike, if you want to give us
Nike.
something too, we
Nike,
here.
we need some money.
Cortez.
Nike, we need money, or Cortez sponsor us.
Yeah.
I'll go to
Stop playing
Southgate.
already.
Give me a Charlie Brown. We'll do a photo shoot. Nike, mess with us. We
And
need
A6,
you.
you've already helped us out.
So thank you. We
Thank
thank
you.
you for everything you're doing in Juvenile
Yeah,
Hall.
thank you.
A6.
And just be part of it. Follow.
Yeah. We want you guys to check him out at Point Shoot Think.
Point, shoot, think, right?
Please.
And
check
that was
his-
my wife who came up with that. So Charlotte, thank you. Because
Thank
she
you.
said I point the camera, I shoot
Hey,
it, and
before
then
we
I
go,
think-
I want to hear the
Yeah.
story real quick about how he met his wife. Please, dog. This is a very special story, and I want you to share it. Please share the story about how you met your wife. And
So 15 years ago, I had an appointment to meet my wife, Charlotte. And Charlotte worked for Kiehl's. Kiehl's is, hi
Kiehl.
Kiehl's.
Hi,
We need
Kiehl.
Kiehl's.
Hi, Kiehl.
So Kiehl's, if you want to send us some product.
Whatever you
get
can.
Because
go face cream.
Kiehl, what does
No,
they,
oh
what do they
yeah, you
sell?
remember that?
Yeah, that's
What does
great.
Kiehl sell?
Kiehl's face cream is
face cream,
amazing
hair
face.
gel.
My skin's
Everything's
dry.
amazing.
Kiehl, it's winter
Yeah, but
time.
they- yeah, but
Christmas
they-
is
Yeah,
coming.
see how I glow, right?
That's Kiehl?
That's
That's
Kiehl
Kiehl.
right there.
Kiehl,
That's-
please. Christmas is coming. I got dry
Yeah.
skin. I suffer from dry skin.
Eczema.
My hands chapped up.
And
I
Kiehl's,
get red right here on the side, and sometimes I break out in hives.
Go
Kiehl,
ahead.
please.
So she was working
Oh
for-
yeah, and they do a great lip balm. Thank you, Kiehl's.
My
Okay,
lips are
working
chapped
for-
right
she was
now.
working for Kiehl's.
So Charlotte was working for Kiehl's.
Kiehl's, hi, Kiehl's.
We here for you, Kiehl's.
Hi. We
And
love you.
You're an amazing brand, super.
Super amazing.
Yeah, but
The
you're not as
best
good as
brand.
the Body Shop. You know, my wife works for the Body Shop. Charlotte
Body
works for the
Shop.
Body,
Body
Shop.
shop.
Body
Hey,
Shop. You know,
We need you.
we need you.
My body needs you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Hang on. So I got something else. So the Body Shop has created a tattoo cream
What?
developed by my wife, Charlotte. Thank you.
Charlotte,
And
thanks
so-
for doing that.
Killing it.
So okay, so we're gonna get some Body Shop. I haven't spoken to Charlotte about this, but I know you're gonna do it. So we're gonna get some healing tattoo cream
You
for
mean
Homeboy
for
Industries.
after-
We'll get them to send
You
it
mean for after when they hit it with the laser?
with the laser because
That
it's a
shit
healing
hurts.
cream. So
Kiehl,
Charlotte,
help us out. My skin's fucked
No,
up.
Body
no,
Shop,
the
bro.
Body
Oh,
Shop.
Body Shop.
bro.
Body
Yeah.
Shop.
Crossing them
Sorry.
up like
The
that.
Body
Body
Shop.
Shop.
The Body
Please,
Shop.
we need the
So
healing
yeah, we
cream.
need.
Yeah.
So we need a healing cream that you made for
I
tattoo.
thought she worked for Kiehl.
No,
Okay.
that's when I met her 15 years
Now
ago.
she's okay.
No.
She met her 15 years
Okay, so let's
ago,
cut it quick.
actually.
So 15 years ago, I met Charlotte. I walked into the Covent Garden Hotel, which was on Monmouth Street. I was wearing a denim jacket. My head was shaved.
Thug life.
No. I was like super skinny. Like super skinny.
Skinnier than this?
Oh, yeah, way skinnier.
Damn, he was
So-
doing drugs back then.
No, I was clean.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
2 years clean. I had to think about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I was clean.
Okay.
Anyway, so I can't really tell that. Yeah, okay. So anyway,
Okay, go on.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I walked in and I sit down and Charlotte walks in and I'm going, okay. And then I go, okay. So we get into the meeting and halfway through the meeting I say, what are you doing later? And she goes, I'm going home to my boyfriend. I said, so you don't fancy going out to have something to eat with me? And she goes, no. Why? I says, come on, I'm just asking you, let's go out for what? She goes, no, I've got a boyfriend. I said, well, I'm seeing someone, but, I know we're going to be together. And she goes, it's not going to happen. So she tried to pawn me off with this girl that worked for a makeup brand called Shuamura, which does great beauty products as well. So we have some girls in
Shuamura.
Juvenile Hall in Orange County. If you want to donate some stuff, we're ready for you.
Anything
And
would
that's
help.
for the Body Shop, and that's for Kiehl's too. We want to
As
work
well.
use brands
We
together. It
wanna-
doesn't have
we
to
wanna
be
work
about one.
together. We wanna
It's a
partner with you.
collective, because we all work
Collective,
together.
yeah.
Right? So then Charlotte tried to pull me off.
I
But
want you
said
to say what you told me in the car when you seen her.
telling.
I want you to say that part, please, dog.
Okay.
When
So
you
then
first
has the
saw
meeting.
her.
I
Sorry.
knew she
All right,
was the
go ahead,
one.
all
I
right.
knew
Okay,
Charlotte was
you
the
let him
one.
talk.
It's fucking this story.
He's
It touched
telling
my
that
heart.
story.
All right,
I
go
get
ahead.
into it. So after she tried to brush me off, I said, look, in 6 months' time, I'm going to ring you, I'm going to meet you, and that's going to be it. She said, it's not going to happen. I said, okay, but I know it's going to happen because I know you're the one. And she goes, it's not going to happen.
Damn.
So off I go, my merry way. Charlotte goes back on hers, and I didn't reach her for the 6 months. Now, I'm meant to get in contact with Charlotte because Charlotte was the head of Kiehl's for PR and marketing. So
Right.
what I do through her, I'm meant to call up and go, oh, I'm working with so-and-so. Can you send me some product? Because that works in their favor. Da, 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 da. So I'll be like, if I'm working with Richard Cabral. Richard Cabral's the name now. They'd be going, oh, we'll send you whatever you want for Richard Cabral.
Yeah.
So I meant to keep that relationship. So for 6 months, I didn't call her. So Charlotte was getting some calls from the people going, oh, where's, that hairdresser James Mooney? He's over in Ireland. He's doing his thing. Da, 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 da. And she's going, yeah, I met him already. Because she wasn't impressed with me. Because when I walked in, I was like, shaved head. She was like, you ugly motherfucker. I wanted nothing got to do with me. So 6 months of the day, I'm on a job with Mr. Perry Ogden. And we were staying in the Portobello Hotel. If we get the Portobello Hotel, Richard Cabral, we got to get rooms because it's a nice
I've never
hotel.
stayed in a nice hotel. in
Okay,
my life. Please.
Portobello Hotel, give him a nice room. Not the one with the mirrors on the ceilings, but
I
give him a
like
nice
feather
hotel.
pillows.
They do feather pillows.
Do they? All right.
So I ring Charlotte and I say, it's James Mooney. And I'm sure her eyes were rolling in the back of her head going, what do you want? But she had to say, hi, she has to do the PR, she does PR marketing. So I said, can I see you later? I'm back in London. And she goes, no. And I said, well, it's got to do with work. Because I knew then she'd have to meet me because she'd been getting the calls to fit the work. So I hadn't got this. So she said, okay, I'll meet you at, it was an opening for, I can't shout out the brands, I know, so I forgot where it was. But anyway, she's out at the wedding, I pull up in the cab. And then when I get out of the cab, because I'd grown my hair, I look different. Cupid hit her hard.
That's what it
And
was,
she
the
goes,
hair.
"Oh." So then we got together. I know she was with someone. She was with someone at the time. But then, so we got it together that night. We got it together
No
that night.
mercy, this guy.
And 15 years later.
Damn.
Beautiful.
Congratulations, dog.
Yeah, she's a special lady.
That's right.
Because you know what? She's the only woman that I know that would let me do what I do. And it's like I've been to a lot of areas that I shouldn't be in, and I've gotten a lot of calls that I shouldn't be getting. But because I take those calls and she lets me do that, I was like, I mean, sometimes she gets concerned. But then the beauty of it is, so in London, when we first moved back 4 years ago, we moved into a pretty bad neighborhood. It was like it's the highest area in London, Islington, for stabbings. I know, I'm sorry. It's the highest stabbing rate for young teenagers in London for stabbing each
I
other.
remember when you would call me and tell me
So
about
there's
this.
like, I think there was something like 1,320 or something were done in a year. But a lot of a lot of them were fatal. And it's over bullshit. It's the same thing what goes on in neighborhoods here. Except it's not with a gun, it's with a knife. And it's with intent. Now it's acid. And it's people living in that area. So I said, when we moved there, I'd done a lot of stuff, and I said, okay, I have to do something. So there was a group of kids on the Vespis, and they were zipping up and down. And I'm out walking I have a little black Pomeranian called Olive. That's my child. She's furry, and she's my child. I don't have a pit bull, I got a Pomeranian. And so as I'm walking down the street, I see all these guys there, and I say, right, if I see those guys tomorrow night, I'm going straight up to them, I'm going to introduce myself, I'm going to get to know them, because I know they're the guys that look after Charlotte when I'm not there, and she's going to be protected. So I'm walking down the street the next night, Daddy all there in the corner, up and down the road, smoking. And I walk up to the guy that's standing against the wall, quietest, and the rest of them are all talking. He said, no, I said, walk up and introduce myself. How you doing? I'm James. And he goes, so? And I says, well, I'd like to introduce them. First of all, I'm James. This is Olive, a Pomeranian, and I'd like to take a picture of you. And he says, fuck out of here, you a cop? I says, well, I must be a very brave cop if I've got a Pomeranian, I'm white, and I'm walking up to you to ask you, can I take a photograph of you? So with that, he started out, and we ended up building a relationship. Dave, you know who you are.
Good.
And so we built a relationship, and whenever they saw Charlotte, they would call her Mrs. Mooney, because they call me Mr. James. So in the same thing, we moved to Hackney. It's like all the kids, I got to know them in the area, and all of them now, it's the same deal. So I think it's important to embrace no matter where you are, because there's special people in every place that you go to.
Yeah.
So in London, it's not about color. It's more about a social divide. It's the have and the have-nots. So you have a mixture of black, white, yellow, all within environments where they're pushed into a postcode. So that postcode depicts almost what job you're going to get, because that's the schooling you're going to get. And education is key. If you don't educate these children, and you don't help these children to be educated, whether through nurture or whether through an education where you can stimulate their minds in order to move forward and be the best that they can be. It's like when you come here, it's like when you're working with these people here, it's like they help you to grow. I don't think schools do that in these areas because they're overwhelmed. And I think if more money was put into that, I think these kids, and I think, for me, I think the world would be a better place because these kids would have an equal opportunity, and I think kids should have an equal opportunity.
Yeah.
And I think, why should a kid have to pay $40,000 a year, whether he's rich or poor, in order to educate their mind? It's just not right. So if I was to change one thing here, I think education will be free.
Thank you.
Education.
Thank you,
And,
Mr. Mooney.
We thank you.
Sorry
on
for
that
keeping
note.
it
No,
so
it's
long.
good.
No worries, no
I
worries.
think that's an important thing to look at is our education and what
Well, health. It's health.
it is.
And it's like, if you have a teacher that understands mental health before, so, I mean, as part of their training and their curriculum, it's like they're not only taught how to educate, they're taught empathy. And it's like how to nurture these kids and what these kids need. Because if a kid's coming from a broken home, he has to be taught in a different way to a kid that doesn't. It's like, if you have two amazing parents, but then you have what you grow up as you think is amazing parents, but they're not, because they're lost. So then the kid's going to be lost. But then if you break that cycle by giving that kid that choice to go, what, you're really a good kid. It's not really your fault because of this, but we can nurture you into something better. So your kids will have an opportunity that you didn't have.
Yeah. It's true. Thank you for your insight, for your wisdom, and for everything that you do, James Mooney.
You too, guys.
For all the work you do, and I love you, dog,
You
from
too.
the bottom of my heart.
You too.
And we gotta bring James back too, Settle, because there's so much stuff that got to come out. You know what I mean? We want to keep unfolding. So
Keels.
Canada
soda,
Dry.
Keels.
If you can get us James
soda?
Mooney back, just pay for his flight,
How about Keels?
please.
Keels, the body
Pay
shop.
for my flight. You've
Yeah,
never
we'll do
taken
it
me
up.
to New
Yeah.
York, fool. You're taking him to New York.
I'll bring you to New York. You can stay in my little
You've
room.
never taken me to New
So
York.
another thing is, I live in a room that's 8 foot by 8 foot.
8 foot by 8 foot.
Yeah.
It's like a cell.
With a window. Richard?
Little ass room.
What
you
do I
put
live
him in
in?
the restroom? You took him to New York and put him in the restroom.
No, we
with
have
your dog?
no, we have a peapod.
Fuck, dog. Fuck it, I'll go. I'll sleep in there. You think I'll fit in there?
Two slept
Yeah.
in there.
Two
Yeah?
slept in there.
Yeah.
You guys
Me
both
and
slept in there?
Yeah, we both slept. Yeah. He had the floor, I had the bed, and then we switched the next night.
Canada Dry?
Canada Dry.
Send me to New York. Please. And give me a lens. I need a lens. Tell them about the lens.
Oh, so
Canon.
what? Okay, so what would be amazing
Go.
is, okay, Canon. So what would be amazing is that.
Help us, Canon.
No. What we'll do is, Canon, if you supply the cameras and the lenses, we will take homies and we'll set up.
That'll be sick.
And
We're
they'll
Homeboy
be
Industries.
photographers.
Not only that, but
Yeah.
we will. Well, okay, so Canon, Nikon, Fuji. If any of you guys want to give in cameras, and what we'll do with those cameras is we have behind the camera over here is Tui. Beside him is Allison. Paudi. Arath.
Arath.
And now we have 2 other budding photographers here. So if you want to donate cameras to Homeboy Industries, maybe 7 cameras.
100. 700
Don't be
cameras.
greedy.
Okay, 7 cameras. will work.
7 cameras. And with those 7 cameras, what we will do is, we promise to do, we will teach the guys and girls in here who want to participate on how to do photography. But through that photography, in return, they create a narrative of their story in order to create change for other kids in those neighborhoods, that they can get an opportunity to show their life through their world. And other people can see their world through their exposure.
If I had cameras, I'll give them to you. Matter of fact, take my phone camera.
Oh, thanks very much.
Start with that.
What's your
That's
code?
how much I believed in that
What's your
pitch.
code?
Serio.
What's your code?
I'm not gonna give you the code.
Why?
I got private
Okay, and
stuff
then
on
so
there.
okay, but then so I'm wrapping up now. I
Okay,
promise.
go.
Okay,
Alright.
just one more second. Okay, so
Go.
then
You're never
what-
coming back on the show again.
Okay.
Oh, I lied. Serio.
So if you do give the
We can never
cameras.
bring Mooney back.
Okay, so if
I love you, but from a distance.
If
you guys.
Go ahead.
if you
the show.
if you
Take the fucking show.
Mooney, go ahead. I don't even want to host this shit
okay,
anymore.
okay,
Go
just
ahead.
one more thing. So with the cameras, right? What we will do as well is that Richard Cabral will sit down and he'll help them formulate the words to go with
He'll take all
to
kinds of weird
formulate
pictures with
no,
him.
to formulate the words to go with the pictures. So it'll give them depth.
I'll do that.
And what I'll do with the camera is I'll do glamour shots.
Nice.
You
I
ever
can
seen,
see you
like,
in
where
your
they-
chonies.
Well, look, they got those feathered things. They're like, they go around your body. Remember they used to do those back in the day? The hyena, send them to the pin.
Where did this show just go?
He took the fucking show over. We
This
can't
is not
bring
even,
Mooney
I'm not
back
even
no
part
more.
of it. This is the James Mooney without your permission.
Please, yeah.
show
This is
now.
the James Mooney show now. Go ahead. I love
sorry.
you, dog.
Look at that. I took it over without your
Here,
permission.
James Mooney, keep the
What
bottle.
happens right here? You got to be on your game.